Hello, welcome to our presentation. In this assignment, we try to understand cloud security and cybersecurity. Here are the details about our team. I'm Sartaj and I'm going to start with introduction. In this assignment, we try to understand the importance of cloud security and the aspects of cybersecurity that helps make a cloud environment secure. We understand that data is one of the most digitally valuable things. Data is the new gold, as this picture suggests, and it is important to protect it and not let unauthorized access, breaches, and thefts affect it. We know that cloud environments and cloud services are evolving businesses, revolutionizing it and providing unparalleled elasticity, scalability, flexibility, and cost efficiency. But with all this great transformation comes great responsibility. It has to be ensured that confidentiality, integrity, availability, non-repudiation, authorization, authenticity, all these cybersecurity components are utilized properly to make cloud services secure. Furthermore, following all that, cloud providers can be more trusted by the businesses, customers, partners, and stakeholders, telling that they are digitally trustworthy. It's important for cloud services and cloud providers and cloud security aspects to be adaptive to changes because cloud itself is always evolving, and so are the different threat vectors and attack surfaces. That brings us to how complex cloud security can be, and in this assignment, we try to research and analyze to unravel those complexities. We see that how critical the threats and vulnerabilities are, such as distributed denial of service attacks, data breaches, insider threats, then ransomware attacks, and furthermore, we see how it's important to think about the shared responsibility model, not allowing security overlaps to harm the security posture of the cloud environments. We talk about the emerging trends such as zero trust framework, DevSecOps, which is the life cycle of development, operations, and maintenance in the most secured manners, following those protocols and practices and setting policies and standards so that our whole cloud infrastructure, along with the organization and its data, is protected. For examples, we delve into how AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud platforms are actually using cybersecurity to protect their services. With the analysis and research and motivation from that, we next try to make some recommendations about how to have a secured cloud environment and technology. So the aim of this report is to equip organizations with strategies that are actionable, and it will help them enhance their cloud security framework. I hope you enjoy the rest of the discussions that will be done by my teammates, passing on the floor to them. Thank you so much.
Hello, welcome to our presentation on cloud security and cybersecurity principles. We have selected reputable sources to focus our research. We'll discuss our criteria for case studies, journals and reports, as well as our analytical framework for examining cloud architecture and security challenges. And using public clouds has changed the way organizations look at information security. The following are a few common examples of the difference between on-premises data solutions and the cloud. Organizations are often unwilling to migrate to a public cloud for security reasons because the physical servers are located outside of the organization's direct control and sometimes even outside uh, their physical geography. By design, the hyperscale cloud providers invest billions of dollars protecting their data centers, building secure services, investing in employee training, and locating security incidents and remediating them fast. This is all with much higher investments, attention, and expertise than most organizations can dedicate to protecting their local data centers. Business that adopt to cloud must first comprehend, manage, and reduce the inherent risks in any cloud model. Based on objective criteria in the following functional areas, we can assess a cloud service's enterprise readiness. To reduce your inherent risk, your cloud services should adhere to the following standards: certifications and standards, data protection, access control, business continuity and disaster recovery, encryption, audits and alerts, file sharing, and certifications and standards. Your services and data centers where they are hosted should adhere to laws and professional best practices that are relevant to your organization. Data protection services that store your company's data should make it possible for you to protect it following your needs. Your access control. Your services should include access restrictions, policy enforcement comparable to on your on-premises controls, and business continuity and disaster recovery. The information about your services disaster recovery procedures should be very clear. According to the importance of data, those specifics should match your company's needs for data access and uptime. Understand the provider's disaster recovery plan, the location of your backup offshore location, and the procedure for backing up and restoring your data. Encryption, the services you use to store sensitive or regulated data should support the encryption of data in transit and provide you with options for managing encryption keys following your policies. Audits and alerts, your services that handle crucial business operations, house sensitive data, or have access to your enterprise system should have effective administrator, user, and data access logging and alerting tools. And file sharing, your services that allow for file sharing should handle file sizes that satisfy your needs for large files. At the end of the day, cloud security enables our organization to achieve the following criteria: decrease attack surface, compliance with regulation, standardization, and best practices. And when speaking about cloud security and cloud service models, the thing that we all hear about is the shared responsibility model, which tries to draw a line between the cloud provider and customers' responsibilities regarding security. As we can see in the following diagram, the cloud provider is always responsible for the lower layers, from the physical security to from the physical security of their data centers through networking, storage, host servers, and virtualization layers. In the virtualization layer is where the responsibility begins to change. When working with integration as a service, we as the customers can select a pre-installed image of an operating system, deploy our applications, and manage permissions to access our data. When working with the platform as a service, we as the customers may have the ability to control code in a managed environment, such as AWS Elastic Beanstalk, Azure Web Apps, Google App Engine, and manage permissions to access our data. When working with software as a service, we as the customers received a fully managed service, and all we can do is to manage permissions to access our data. Now we will look at how the various cloud providers look at the shared responsibility model from their own perspective. Looking at the shared responsibility model from the AWS point of view, we can see the clear distinction between the AWS responsibility for the security of the cloud and the customer's responsibility for security in the cloud. And looking at when we look at the shared responsibility from the Azure's point of view, we can see the distinction between Azure's responsibility for its data centers uh, and the customer's responsibility at the top layers. In the middle layers, the responsibility changes between Azure and the customers according to the various service types. Looking at the shared responsibility model from the Google Cloud platform's point of view, we can see that Google would like to emphasize that it builds its own hardware, which enables the company to control the hardware, boot, and kernel of the platform, including the storage layer encryption, network equipment, and logging of everything that Google is responsible for. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Hamza Jawaid. Today I am going to discuss the cloud security principles, threats, vulnerabilities, and the emerging trends of the cloud security. Now I am going to discuss the cloud security principles. Cloud security principles are shared security, responsibility model, data protection, network security, security monitoring, and incident response. When we talk about the shared responsibility model, it defines clearly the role of the client and the service provider. In data protection, we use strong encryption techniques to protect the confidentiality of the data. In identity and access management, we apply different security principles and the strict access control, like the multi-factor authentication. In network security, to define against malicious activity and illegal access, we apply the firewalls and the network segmentation. When we talk about the security monitoring and incident response, we use different monitoring tools to quickly identify the irregularities and the possible security breaches. Now I'm going to talk about the common threats and vulnerabilities of the cloud security. Threats in the cloud environments are the data breaches, inside threats, DDoS attacks, misconfigurations. When we talk about the data breaches, data breaches basically occurs when sensitive information leaves your position or without your knowledge or permission. Data is worth more to the attacker than anything else. When we talk about the insider threats, it is basically the inside person or the authorized users that may result in data breaches or unauthorized access of their information of the company. In the denial of service, the attacker put the lots of information on the cloud services by overloading the resources. In the part 3, I am going to talk about the emerging technologies and the trends of the cloud security. First is the zero trust architecture. In this architecture, it deviates from the traditional parameter-based security approach by emphasizing the continuous authentication and strict access control based on the user identification and the device posture. The second one is the container security. To prevent security lapses and container escape, there is a growing emphasis on the safeguarding containerized apps and orchestrators, as containerized environments like Docker and Kubernetes are becoming more popular. And the third is the serverless security. As serverless computing gains traction, business must address the security concern, particularly to the serverless architectures such as safeguarding function code, limiting access, monitoring runtime activity. And the fourth one is the AI and machine learning. By threat identification, anomaly detection, and the behavior analysis, AI and machine learning can be used to enhance security monitoring and incident response capabilities.
Hello everybody, this is the analysis part of this research paper. I'm Mingyuan, and I will explain this analysis part in 3 areas. The first one is unique and important challenges in cloud computing. The second one is mitigating cloud-specific risks. The last one is zero trust. So let's get into the first one part, the unique and important challenges. The first takeaway I want to explain is the shared responsibility models. That's the diagram. That's the diagram showing below. The cloud service provider bear their own duty, and the customer also bear their own duty, and so both of them is bear separately duty very clearly. Let's say the cloud service provider. They are responsible for the physical layer, the securing and maintenance the virtualization layer, the ensuring high availability and reliability of their service, and so on. So the customers is do the same thing like the cloud service provider, but they are different. And they are different very clearly. So what is the shared responsibility best practice? The first one is a thoroughly thoroughly examine SLA. Takes time to carefully review your SLA with cloud vendor. When an organization change cloud provider or shifting to a different cloud delivery model, it is imperative to reevaluate the fine print of the SLA to avoid any misunderstanding. And then it's all about data. Regardless of choose CSP, the organization bears complete responsibility for the handling and the management of the data. So you also need to arm yourself with the right security tool, and you just use the right security tool. You can also protect your data and your cloud system. About the second element in the first part, the data sovereignty. Data sovereignty is the premise that data should be subject to the laws and the regulations of the country where it is collected or stored. As a legal and political concept, this ensures that data is controlled by the tenant entities and that they have the authority to determine its usage, storage, and dissemination. For individuals and organizations, this means ownership on the law over the data they generate or handle. They buy, preventing unauthorized access, misuse, or exploitation on national level. Countries have the legal right and the authority to control access, storage, processing, and movement of data within their border. The last element is multi-tenancy issues. The multi-tenancy issues is a type of software architecture where a single software instance can serve multiple distinct user groups. It means that multiple customers of cloud vendor are using the same computing resources. As they are sharing their same computing resources, but the data of each cloud customer is kept totally separate and secure. It is very important the concept of cloud computing. So it have advantage and also have disadvantage, and they are very obvious in their field in this field. The second part is mitigating cloud specific risks. It has three key elements I need to explain. The first one is the integrity. Integrity includes data validation and the integrity checkers. So they implementing mechanism for data validation such as checksums and digital signatures, and they also comprehensive logging and auditing capabilities enable organization to monitor and track the changes to data. About the availability, the availability includes high availability architecture and the distributed denial of service mitigation. And overall, cybersecurity measures play a critical role in safeguarding the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data in cloud environment. So we need to follow the three key elements, three rules to make sure mitigating data cloud-specific risks. The last part of our paper is zero trust. Zero trust recently is a very important area, and many researchers are also studying this area. Zero trust model assume branch and verify requests through it originate from an open network, regardless of where the request originates or what resource it accesses. Zero trust teaches us to never trust or verify. Every access request is fully authenticated, authorized, and encrypted before granting access. And so this zero trust is very structured and systematic, as the diagram showing below. They have a lot of elements and entities to make sure the system works.
Today, a lot of companies use the cloud to store data and run their programs. It's like renting space on the internet to keep your stuff safe and accessible. But there are safety challenges with the cloud. That's why it's super important for companies to make sure the cloud is safe. This is all we're going to talk about in this presentation, and I'm going to be talking about steps that companies can take to make their cloud more secure. So let's dive into it. So right here I have 5 recommendations for organizations to improve their cloud security postures. So the first one is to adopt multiple factor authentications to enhance access control. So this is just like using more than just a password to log into your account. When you log into your account, it's safer to use more than just a password. So instead of typing in your password, you can get like a code on your phone, or you can use a fingerprint, so that if anyone gets your password, they won't be able to get into your account, because they'll need these other 2 things for them to get into your account. And then the second one is to implement encryption for data at rest and in transit. So imagine your data being the secret code, and encryption is like turning that code into a secret language that you and your computer can understand. So even if someone gets their hands on this data, they won't be able to read it without getting the special key to unlock it. And then the third recommendation is to regularly audit and update access controls based on the least privilege principles. So it's important to regularly check who can access your data, to make sure that they can only access whatever they really need and whatever they're allowed to access. This will help you keep your data safe from people who shouldn't be looking at it. And then the fourth one is to utilize the cloud security services and tools provided by the providers. So sometimes the companies that provide the cloud services, they offer an extra tool to keep your data safe. So these tools are like extra guards watching over your data to make sure that nothing better happens to it. Using these tools can give you more protection without you doing extra work. And then the last one is to invest into a security automation solution for real threat detection, incident response. So it's just like a 24/7 guard keeping an eye on your data, and it's just a tool that's always working to see if there's any threats that are happening, and if everything is working fine. And then now that we have talked about the ways to improve cloud security, we should also talk about the importance of learning and adapting to the new phases of evolving security threats and technologies. So I think it's important to stay updated and to stay safe, because cyber threats are always changing. So it's important to keep learning new ways to protect against them. By staying informed, we can better defend ourselves from any attacks that can happen, and we can always keep our data safe. So learning ahead is always good, because we can empower ourselves to adapt to any security strategies, so that we can be able to defend ourselves from any threats that can happen. So investing into any learning programs around is always good. It's always good to be flexible and creative, so that you can tackle any emerging threats that can happen. And by fostering a culture of innovation, we can encourage the development of new security solutions, and this can help us to face any challenges that can come our way, and we can protect our data. So in summary, combining cloud security with a broader cybersecurity rules is really important. When we align these strategies, we keep our data safe and make sure it's not tampered with and always available when you need it. So remember, like, cloud security and cybersecurity are like best friends. So when they work together, we have a more secure system. So integrating them is having like a strong defense, and information is safe from any harm. So this is all I have for this presentation, and thank you for listening.
Hello again. Thank you to all my teammates for providing amazing presentation about cloud security, cybersecurity, and the nitty-gritty details on how to improve the security posture in cloud environments. We know that like any other systems, distributed cloud computing systems have to be usable. They need to have high usability so that users can have a great experience. It needs to be functional. It needs to have great functionality so that business can achieve a lot of good things from it. For example, scalability, elasticity, and cost efficiency. But one of the most important things that we can never forget is security. A system, no matter if it's cloud or distributed or just a software, its security aspects are as important as all other aspects. So as we can see here, Satya Nadella has said businesses and users are going to embrace technology only if they can trust it. That's why cybersecurity and cloud security is very important. So in our assignment and this presentation, we have seen how to strengthen the foundation of cybersecurity, cloud security aspects in the cloud infrastructure. We have seen how we can have a unified front against the threats where the relationship between cloud providers, consumers, brokers, and all the entities come together to make sure that we can safeguard our data across the cloud environments. We make sure that the security landscape is dynamic in nature, just like the cloud technology itself, which is always evolving. We can only make sure that we follow certain steps to ensure that cloud security is also developing and evolving like that. We have looked into the benchmarks set by the industry leaders like Google Cloud and also Amazon Web Services and how they're providing inspiring robust security measures. We have seen how strategic recommendations can be made by looking into technologies and frameworks such as Zero Trust Framework. And lastly, we have seen that adaptation and continuous learning is one of the most important aspects in cloud security and cybersecurity in general. Without adapting and evolving and having more knowledge about all these new upcoming technologies and how it's evolving, we cannot simply protect the attacks because the attackers, the red teams, they're always developing new ways to breach into system and new attacks. So that's important as well. So in order to achieve excellence, we need to commit into good research, development, and improvement of cloud and cybersecurity practices such as confidentiality, integrity, and availability in our cloud computing infrastructures. So I hope this insightful presentation was enjoyed and was insightful enough. And thank you so much for listening to us. Have a great day.